Guys, welcome back to the Trading Den. Today is a super important, super special session. Today we're not going to be talking about charts, we're not going to be talking about tools, we're not going to be talking about economics, price data, price bars, none of that stuff. Today we're going to talk about the real secret sauce to success in the trading world, and that is the difference that makes the difference. That is what is going on between your two ears. That is the checkup from the neck up, because this session is all about you. Okay, so let me get started on today's session. Now, today we're going to be discussing trader personality types. I'm going to make this really clear for everybody watching here today. I got to tell you this now. I've been teaching people to trade for the last 17 years. I've been a currency trader for the last 25 years. And I can certainly tell you this, at least 50% of the people that come across my threshold, whether it be any of my trading dens, any of my trading floors or trading seminars or webinars, or any of our instructional facilities around the world, literally are not necessarily cut out to be currency traders. Therefore, before you buy any tools, before you open up a trading account, before you log on and do any of this kind of craziness, you need to understand which of the four archetypes. Now, an archetype is a personality profile, a predefined personality profile which has characteristics to it. Think of it this way. If you're going to head off on a journey and you needed a sat nav, there's two things that sat nav would need to know. First of all, where you're going, but most importantly, where you are starting from. And so this session today from the Trading Den is all about and completely dedicated to helping you, first of all, understand what those archetypes are, and most importantly, which one you fit into, so you know your start point. And then we're going to help you understand through the course of the videos on my YouTube channel how to get to really where you want to go. The best part about today's session is there is a gift embedded in today's video. So when you listen towards the end of this video, I've got something so super cool. You're absolutely going to love it. I'm actually going to show you what the four archetypes are, how they work, what the pros and the cons of each archetype are. And then I'm going to give you the opportunity to actually speak to me or one of my trader coaches to understand where you sit in that personality profiling. And we're going to do a personality profile with you for free as one of my subscribers to my YouTube channel, so you really understand what your starting point is, and then therefore what actions you need to do to improve your trading performance based on where you're starting from. So let's get right to it. First archetype that we need to be aware of is called the systematic risk-averse archetype. That's the first one up. Now let's look at the pros and cons of both. So we'll start with systematic. The systematic pros, or the benefits of being a systematic driven person, is going to be all about rules. You're going to be great at following rules, and you are naturally inclined towards technical analysis of trading. What that really means is trading, if you remember, is the trading plan I always talk about in previous videos, is critical and essential to your success making it as a currency trader. Knowing not only what you've got to do, why you're doing it, and most importantly, having a plan or a series of events you can follow it from start to finish. How do you know if you're successful as a trader? Simply following your plan. We all know the market can go up and down on a daily basis, and it may move sideways. And if you have a predisposition to being long in the market and the market tumbles like it has done recently, or if you're short and the market rallies, you can effectively lose or make money. That doesn't mean you're necessarily making a mistake or you're doing anything wrong. You're only making a mistake or doing something wrong if you're not following your plan. So systematic people do well in this area. And let me tell you this, if there is one element of your trading arsenal that you could give certain credence to, it would be following the trading plan. So systematics have got a real benefit here. Now the con, if there's pros and cons, the con or the negative of being too systematic is you can often overthink things, and you can confuse yourself and get caught in what's known as analysis paralysis. And that can result in you making bad decisions, wasting a lot of time not simply placing enough trades and getting caught up with overanalyzing a position. You know, the more things we factor into analyzing a position, the more mistakes we can make. There's obviously an optimum number, and after that optimum number, the curve really starts to fall off. So systematic people, in a nutshell, are great at following rules. They're great and have a great disposition, propensity to technical analysis. And the cons are they can overthink things and they can get themselves caught in analysis paralysis. Now, we did say systematic and we said risk averse. Let's now look at the risk averse element of that first archetype, which of course is systematic risk averse. That's one archetype. The pros of being risk averse should be quite obvious. It means risk management should come naturally to you, and you are a patient / realistic person when it comes to placing your trades, which really means if you think trading, what is the difference between trading and gambling? Well, we all know gambling is placing trades that you haven't risk managed. Trading is literally risk managing the trades you've just placed. That is really the difference between the two. Trading is synonymous with risk management. So if you're that first profile, systematic, risk averse, you are quite nicely up the curve, and being able to identify you are on that curve should give you the understanding that trading might well be something that you could and should participate in. So the pros of risk averse are naturally quite obvious there. Now let's have a look at the cons. You'll often procrastinate. And that means when placing trades, you'll also find it hard to gain confidence after losing trades. So someone who's quite risk averse will put off placing opportunities that would otherwise are time sensitive and they need to get into because they're worried, they're concerned. They may well have placed a couple of losing trades and are therefore losing confidence to place the next number of trades. We always say that the only link any two trades have between each other are in the trader's mind, because obviously if you place two losing trades, what happens on the next trade has really nothing to do with the previous trades you've placed, only in the trader's mind. So if you've taken a couple of losses, you could then be down on your confidence a little bit, which could give you some level of procrastination or putting off placing your next trade because you're feeling a bit wounded, and then of course you can miss that next upcoming opportunity. So there are your differences or your pros and cons between systematic and risk averse, or systematic risk averse. There are your pros and cons for that archetype. Now let's move on to archetype number 2. Archetype number 2 is progressive adventurous. Progressive adventurous sounds like a great night out. Being progressive means you're always looking for the next best thing, or you're looking for ways to improve your trading and constantly look for the latest, greatest techniques. Now that can be an amazing benefit because you're constantly looking to, back test, run Monte Carlo simulations, get yourself constantly improving. You're somebody that lives by that old the old Japanese modicum, which is kanai, which is constant, never-ending improvement, and that is an incredibly powerful tool to have as a currency trader. It's super important to backtest what you've done and not be overly reliant on a strategy, for example, which has, let's say, lost its effectiveness in current market conditions. Let's have a look now at the cons of being a progressive type archetype. The cons are you're likely to jump into the latest and greatest strategy and become a jack of all trades rather than mastering one. You'll therefore become somebody that believes the 5-3-1 rule, which I've discussed on other videos. 5-3-1 means having 5 currencies you understand intimately, 3 trading strategies, and 1 means trading at the same time of day. Progressive type people don't do that. They want to have an armory of all of the tools, and they literally are hot jobbing between all of them, being a jack of all trades and not really mastering one. That can be a huge mistake. And it's one of the greatest downfalls I've ever seen in a whole group of currency traders that I've analyzed over a period of time. It's those which hot jump between lots of different trading strategies, never reliant on one. They never really get to the promised land. They all end up it becomes a game of collecting trading strategies rather than mastering them. So what we call this progressive adventurous. If you look at the adventurous part of that archetype, remember these archetypes have 2 names to them. They're progressive and adventurous, or they're systematic and they're risk averse. But so the pros on being an adventurous type archetype is when you win, you're going to win big, because you believe you're lucky and you're not scared by the risk. So in other words, you are somebody that will cut your losses short potentially, but you'll certainly let your profits run. And one of the biggest mistakes people make is that in the game of trading, if you look over the course of the month, you'll have a number of trades which will cancel each other out, and then you'll have a few winners, which if you've got the adventurous type archetype, the personality profile, you will have the confidence to let those positions run and achieve massive profits. And it's those traders which achieve incredible profits by allowing those positions to run and not trying to capture their profits too early. Often systematic risk type people will take their profits early because they just want to try and bank something, not realizing that there's the volume, there's the momentum, and there's the price range movement to really take a decent profit and let that run, is something which is more of the archetype of the adventurous. So that's the pro of being adventurous. Let's now have a look at the con. Because you only focus, or you mostly focus on the upside, you're the kind of person that's always asking the question, how much can I make? rather than ask the question, how much can I afford to lose? And I always say the best traders in the world are asking, the answers to life are of course in the questions. And the best traders in the world tend to ask the questions, how much can I afford to lose here? Focusing on the losses, focusing on the risk management, and then allowing the profits to take care of themselves. The adventurous, therefore, is the big con, or the downside of being that adventurous personality profile means because you only focus on the upside, when you lose, you're likely to lose your whole trading account, or you have the possibility to do lovely big wins, and then a couple of losing trades will have you wipe out that account, and then you have to refund your account and start again, because you're the kind of individual that will move your stop loss down, kind of squeak out of the rules, create new rules in your head as you're going along. Unfortunately, my dad's done that a few times, bless his heart, and it comes up with all sorts of reasons as to why he could break his trading rules. Of course, if you do that, you will get yourself in trouble. You will get your knickers in a twist, and that is the challenge of being an adventurous personality profile. Those people are great to have at a dinner party. My dad is always the life and soul of a dinner party, but when you add that to a trading account, you've got to be able to temper and manage that. If you don't do that, you're going to get yourself in trouble. Okay, so we've covered 2 of the archetypes already. Remember, they come in 2 flavor names. So the first was, of course, the systematic risk averse. The second we've just covered, of course, was the progressive adventurous. Now, don't forget, at the end of today's video, I'm going to give you the opportunity, if you look in the description of this video, you're going to have the opportunity to actually participate in a live personality profiling strategy call where you're going to speak to either me or one of my head traders and help you identify. So we're going to take you through a series of questions. You need to budget about 30 minutes of your time. This is my gift to you today as being one of my YouTube subscribers, my love to you. I hope you really love this experience, because I promise you, if there's one thing you've got to get straight, is that checkup from the neck up. Knowing who you are inside before you get behind the wheel is a critical thing to do. Any destination you want to go to in life, know where your starting point is. And so my gift to you is one of my beloved subscribers, and I thank you all so much, by the way, for just helping me blow the doors off this YouTube channel. It seems to have, at the time of recording, I've just crossed over 16,000 subscribers today in less than 2 months. So it's absolutely been the most incredible thing. Thank you so much for that. So my gift to you, this is kind of my birthday gift to you, for my 16,000 subscribers, is a strategy call where you're going to get to identify which one of these 4 that I'm now describing you are. And then knowing that, and my team, and by the way, this is not you have to pay any money for this. This is a gift to you. You're going to know also from that standing start, from that position, then what you need to do. So all of these 4 archetypes have got work. Please don't think that trading is automatic, easy, and that money just falls out of the sky. But when you know thyself, and remember that was the art of war, know thyself first, know where you're coming from, then you get a real sense of the work you need to do to get yourself based on the natural archetypes you have. We have the unconscious mind, we have the conscious mind, and we have the conative mind. That conative mind is really our natural set point, our propensity, like who we really are, who we're really built to be. And one of these 4 will certainly be revealed to you after attending one of these strategy calls. Again, half an hour to your kind of budget of time. And then you'll know exactly what your next steps are to improve your trading. Of all the things I've done in the last 17 years in terms of coaching and teaching and all the rest of it, all of my graduates, bar none, have said the personality profiling and the subsequent actions from that has completely changed the nature of their trading, completely changed the nature of their profitability and the frequency of their profitability, and put most of them in a place where it's gone from being a hobby to a full-time job, or something they can do full-time with their trading activity, rather than just like hopping in, hopping out, losing some months, making money some other months. What we want in this game, folks, is consistency. And consistency comes from knowing really who this person in the seat is. And of course, that's you. And understanding what you need to do in order to get to where you want to go. So when you look in the descriptions of this video today, you're going to see a link to get yourself booked onto a strategy call. There isn't lots of slots, so just pick a slot that's available, and then we'll promise to give you a call, hook you up, and help you get there. Okay, so let's get straight to it. What's the 3rd archetype now? It's systematic adventurous. So what is systematic adventurous? Well, again, it's 2 words. I'm going to take the systematic one first. The pros of being systematic is, again, you're great at following rules and you're naturally inclined towards technical analysis of trading. So systematic adventurous now combines together to make an archetype. Remember, there are 4. This is the 3rd. So this is great. You're a good rule follower. You're going to be naturally inclined towards the technical analysis of trading. Remember, everything we do on SmartCharts is super visual. It's strategy driven. It uses a fair amount of technical analysis. There is some fundamental in there too, but proportionally, there is a much greater degree of technical analysis in SmartCharts than there is anything else. So for you systematics out there, the pro of that is that you're going to be naturally inclined to that and you're going to be good at following the trading rules. That's great. Now let's move over to the con side of that. You can often overthink things. You can get yourself caught up with a bit of analysis paralysis, and then that can result in you making bad decisions, wasting a lot of time, or just simply not placing enough trades in terms of your quota to achieve the results you're looking to make. So that's really important. The adventurous side, again, the pros are when you win, you're going to win big because you believe you are, I guess, lucky, or not just lucky, but that you are intended to win big. You believe that life is this life is not about you, but this life is for you, or this life isn't happening to you, but this life is happening for you, meaning that when you get on a run, you're happy to let it run. Remember, there's a lot of people out there that take their profits too quickly. You're somebody that can keep your certitude there and hold it on those trades and really milk the trade for where the big profit comes. So you're not so scared by the risk. Of course, the downside of being adventurous, or the con, is because you only focus on the upside, when you lose, you're likely to wipe out that trading account because you're the sort of person, perhaps, or potentially, I'm not saying you are necessarily, but you have the propensity to let 2 or 3 trades wipe the account out because you then break your risk management rules, and that can be quite devastating. Okay. The fourth, the last one, is progressive risk averse. Let's look at progressive, the pros of progressive. It means you're always looking for the next best thing. You're always looking to improve, which is great. Kanai, again, constant never-ending improvement. The Japanese have a word for this, which is called kaizen. There's no other word like it in the English language, but kaizen generally means constant and never-ending improvement, and that was something which was critical and key to the evolution of Japan's technology industry and their manufacturing industry, which led to them selling more motor cars than they did in the Americans in the late 50s and early 60s. So Kaizen is this constant desire to improve and become better. The backside of that, or the downside of that, should we say, is you're likely to jump into the latest and greatest strategy and become a jack of all trades rather than mastering one. This game is all about mastery. So what is mastery? Mastery is the concept of being able to automatically do something by practicing something. There's a guy called Daniel Coyle who wrote a book called The Talent Code. And the concept of the talent code is that you aren't born with talent. It was well known that Beethoven, even though he was a fantastic pianist, his father was a piano teacher and he'd done over 10,000 hours of piano training before his 9th birthday. So therefore that constant practicing, that constant, what we call that myelination, that constant embedding as an unconscious process is really key, and that's what you're going to be certainly wedded to. Now let's move over to the risk-averse side of this particular last archetype, which of course is critically important. The pro side of that, of course, is risk management should come naturally to you. You should be patient, realistic when it comes to your trading. That's going to be great. The downside of that, of course, is you might hesitate to place trades, and certainly after you've lost some money on some losing trades, it will knock your confidence. You're somebody that's going to be quite auditory digital, therefore always thinking inside and not being able to move on and crack on with your next trade. Now, in an ideal world is to be kind of in the middle, which is a balanced trade. And our professionals live in the balanced middle, like the bullseye, if you will, on a dartboard. Amateurs may hit the bullseye at chance, but they may also hit the wall and nothing will be consistent. So the real game here is to figure out where you sit in all of these 4 and then put some plans in place to get you somewhere nice and balanced in the middle. Now, if you want to find out exactly which trader archetype you are, there is a systematic process, a way of doing that. And I'm actually going to help you out. As I've said before in this video, I'm going to give you access to a strategy call with one of my trader coaches for being one of my YouTube subscribers. So before filming this video, I created a simple archetype questionnaire that my trader coaches take all of my new delegates on our trading floors around the world through to help them understand where their start point is. And we use our best trader coaches to teach them exactly where they are and then where they need to go. So you are now pretty much prepped as to what the 4 archetypes are, the pros and cons of each. And listen, I am super excited to be able to offer you this. I'm trying to add as much value to this YouTube channel than any other trading YouTube channel on the internet today. And I'm doing that by bringing in health experts. I'm doing that by bringing in my trader team. Remember, I employ over 300 traders around the world across 24 trading floors around the world. So we're pretty big in this space, but I want to bring the best and the best of what I have and give it to you to help you out on your journey to success. A lot of the comments that I'm getting from people really stem from some of the stuff that's holding you back psychologically, and it's very, very obvious to me, hence why the team and I sat down and we decided to do this for you. So you want to budget between 30 and 45 minutes for this strategy call. Make sure you're on your own. Make sure you've got time where you haven't got kids or your husband or your wife or friends or family running around where you're kind of going to be distracted, because there's going to be a series of questions that you're going to be asked, and please be as honest as possible. Don't think you've got to say something to try and be a certain thing. Just be who you are, and that is probably the most important thing you can do. Be honest, be in a quiet space where you can concentrate. 30 to 45 minutes, I think it's probably going to be the best 30 to 45 minutes you could ever do, and I really mean this, in the trading game in terms of identifying where you are, and then let's get a plan together to help you out to get you to where you want to be. And there's no cost to this whatsoever. It's a freebie from me. So if you like this video, please don't forget to hit like, and if you haven't joined the subscription to this channel, make sure you get yourself on the subscription list by hitting subscribe. And don't forget, in the description of this video, the first link you're going to see is going to be the link to get yourself onto that trader personality profiling call. That's my free gift from me to you. Discover which archetype you are to take your trading to the next level.